Okay, welcome back to the class, children. Today I am going to start a new chapter, that is the fourth chapter from class 11, that is Animal Kingdom. As you can very well see that today I am going to give you the basis of classification. I have told you several times कि जब भी हम किसी चीज को क्लासिफाई करते हैं तो क्लासिफाई करने का कोई बेसिस होता है. I always tell you, suppose you all are sitting in my class and I want to classify you all into two groups. मेरे क्लास में आप सब बैठे हो, I want to classify you all into two groups. So obviously there has to be a basis. It will be either on basis of gender, girls and boys, either on basis of height, tall and short, like this. So whenever we classify, there has to be a basis. So today, as we start this chapter, the 4 Animal Kingdom, that is classification of animals, we are basically going to look into, first of all, in today's lecture, we are going to look into what are the basis of classification of animals in the kingdom Animalia. So I just want you to see this for the first time first. The kingdom Animalia has been first, basically the biggest group into which they have been classified is non-chordates and chordates. Kingdom Animalia को हमने दो ग्रुप में बांटा है, non-chordate and chordate. Non-chordate further include Porifera. This is something I want each one of you to learn by heart. It includes Porifera, Coelenterate, Ctenophora, Platyhelminth, Aschelhelminth, Annelid, Arthropod, Mollusca, Echinoderm and Hemichordate. Non-chordate has been divided into so many groups. Similarly, chordates has also been divided into a number of subgroups. But for the time being, मैं chordate का further classification नहीं लिख रही. I am not giving you the further classification of chordates. फिलहाल I am talking only about the non-chordate का classification. So broadly, Kingdom Animalia has been divided into non-chordates and chordates. Non-chordate has been divided into so many subgroups, and chordate has also been divided, but I am not talking about it right now. So if we basically go for this classification, that on what basis they have been classified, the non-chordates and chordates, and further the classification, how it has been done. So as you know, there has to be some basis for this classification. So what is the basis? First, just see it. First basis of classification is level of organization of cells. What do we mean by this? I will teach you in due course. Second, body symmetry. Third, segmentation. Fourth, germ layers. Fifth, nature of coelom, and sixth, presence or absence of notochord. So this is the main, not only, but these are the main criteria on which the kingdom Animalia has been classified, right? So we will take one by one. So सबसे पहले I will tell you what is level of organization of cells. Now I want you to see this, that the cells, we are all living organisms. We are made up of cells. Now how have these cells been organized? There is basically 4 levels of organization. You can see it. One is cellular level. The second is tissue level. The third is organ level. And the fourth is organ system level. Now what do I mean by this? We will just see this. First let me explain in my own way. पहला बात, इस दुनिया में एक भी ऐसा एनिमल नहीं है जो यूनिसेलुलर है. All animals are multicellular, right? First and foremost, all animals are multicellular. If they are multicellular, how are their cells organized, right? In some organisms, like only Porifera, right, they are multicellular, but these cells have not been organized into tissues or organs. इनको हमने tissues and organs में organize नहीं किया. They have not been organized into tissues and organs. That means each and every cell performs its own function for survival. Survival के लिए each and every cell will perform all the functions that are necessary for survival. There is no division of labor, right? That means ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ cells कुछ काम करेंगे, some will do some work, some will do some work. No, all the cells, they do all their work for survival. That means though the organism is multicellular, but all the cells, they are taking care of themselves. Such a level of development is called as cellular level of development. Later it was found out that if all the cells, they do everything, everything means like digestion, respiration, right? Digestion है, respiration है, circulation है. अगर सारा सेल अपना सारा काम खुद करेगा तो obviously क्या होगा? They will never be able to evolve because they will be constantly engaged and there will be a lot of expenditure of energy. I'll tell you something like this. Say, आप लोग 5 friends हैं and all of you stay in the same flat. आप same flat में रहते हैं. But all of you are doing all your tasks individually. That means I cook my own food, I wash my dishes, I go to the market to fetch vegetables, I clean my room, I do everything myself. उससे क्या होगा? And everyone is doing their own work. एक तो क्या है? I'm using a lot of time. पूरे दिन मेरा engage हो जा रहा है and I'm not being able to do anything perfectly क्योंकि मुझे बहुत सारे काम करने हैं. So I'm not being able to do anything perfectly and lot of energy is also being wasted. Right? The other person in my room, वो भी अपना सारा काम खुद करता है, वो भी अपना खुद करता है. This level is called as cellular. That means though we are sharing the same flat, though we stay together, but we are taking care of ourselves individually. इस level of development को हम कहते हैं cellular level. Later evolution में nature saw that it was a very wasteful process and time-taking process and a lot of energy was being wasted. So it was decided कि why don't we do little division of labor. Division of labor मतलब काम का बंटवारा. Labor काम, division बंटवारा. Why don't we do little काम का बंटवारा? That means why don't now what happens? Look at first ourselves. Then I'll come back here. We come to a conclusion that since all of us, we are doing the same task. When I go to take the vegetable, my friend also goes to the same place to take the vegetable. So I will do the task of bringing vegetable for everyone. मैं सबका, my work will be, तो उससे क्या होगा? My work is only go to the market, fetch the vegetables, come back. Since I'm doing it for everyone, so my time is being saved, their time is being saved, and money is also being saved. Similarly, one friend, she will do cooking for everyone. Another friend, she will do washing for everyone. This way, there will be specialization of work. When I go to the market, I'm going to do that work wholeheartedly. The other one is going to do wholeheartedly. Third one, obviously a lot of energy and time will be saved, right? So what happened? After cellular level of development, there came the second level of development called as tissue level of development. What is tissue? When a group of cells, from here I am showing, when the group of cells, they get together to perform one single function. That means we have started division of labor. This, you know that a group of cells which have a common origin and common function, that is called as tissue. So animals में the first, there is no animal which is unicellular, all are multicellular, but initial animal का development was cellular. बाद में the level of development became tissue level, right? So tissue level में then they realized that we can go for super specialization, right? Super specialization means where like this is say tissue 1, right? And say this is another tissue, this is tissue 2. When more than one tissue, they organize themselves to do a specialized work that is called as organ, right? So the next level of development was organ level of development. And then when more than one organs, जैसे यहाँ एक organ है, where there is another organ, when more than one organ, they organize to do one work. Now this is super specialization. Then this is called as organ system level of development. And in animals, the most evolved ones, including us, our level of development is organ system level of development. I will explain you with the help of an example. So for that, I am just rubbing out some things. First, let us come to cellular level of development. As I told you, cellular level means I am made up of many cells, but each cell will perform its own function. Then we have tissue. So suppose I'll talk about human beings. In human beings, the cells, these cells, they organize into 4 types of tissues. One was epithelial tissue. Now epithelial tissue का एक ही काम है, what? Protection, the internal and external body part का protection करना. Then another tissue is called as muscular tissue. The work of muscular tissue is to bring about contraction in any part of the body, be it my limbs, be it the stomach, which will also need contraction for peristalsis. Some cells, they specialize for another task, say that is connective tissue. Their work was to connect different parts of the body, so they form connective tissue. And the last type of cell, it formed nervous tissue. Now you can see, we have a group of cells, but there has been a division of labor. So in human beings, we have 4 types of tissues. Now when all the 4 tissues, they perform, they get together to do one work, we call it as organ. So I'll give you an example. Say in human being, stomach is an organ, right? Stomach is an organ. So stomach has all the 4 types of tissue. The outermost covering in the stomach, that is your epithelial tissue. This outermost covering, this is your epithelial tissue. It protects the stomach both externally and internally, right? Then the next tissue below it, this is your connective tissue. This connective tissue is rich in blood vessels and it makes sure that the organ is well vascularized. The next tissue is your muscular tissue. This tissue ensures that this organ, it works, it churns the food very well. And besides, there is a nervous tissue. This nervous tissue coordinates this organ with other organs. Why? Kyunki, this stomach must know when it is full. It must, jab distended, the stomach must know that the food has now reached maybe, duodenum, and I must stop my work. So this is being coordinated with the brain and other parts of my body, right? कि brain के साथ भी coordinated है, how much food to eat, only that much that is required in the stomach. So nervous system, keeps it well coordinated with other parts of the body. So when more than one tissue, they started doing one work, obviously the specialization was of still higher order. देखो यहाँ पर specialization क्या है? It is of a still higher order, and this is called as organ level. And आगे जाकर including humans में we have organ system level of development. Now just look at organ system level of development. अगर the work of digestion, अगर केवल stomach करता, the entire digestion work, obviously it would have been good. But now what we have is, we have a group of organs. Say I have esophagus, say I have stomach, say I have duodenum, small intestine, large intestine. So now what I have done, the same food जो अकेले stomach digest करता था, I have said you will digest only protein, maybe you will digest only carbohydrate, maybe you will do only digestion of fat. This is not the truth. I'm just saying you will do only the work of absorption. So when more than one organs are doing one work, then the specialization and super specialization becomes of still higher order. अब हमने और काम बांट दिया है. Duodenum आपका काम केवल इतना है, stomach आपका काम ये है, large intestine आपका काम ये है. Rather than stomach doing all the work, now if the work is distributed, obviously this is called super specialization. So the same task will be done more efficiently. So this is the first basis of classification, that is the level of development. In animals, in kingdom Animalia, I am teaching you non-chordates and chordate. Non-chordate mein I have taught you, I have given the names of everyone. Chordate I am yet to give, but as we evolved, the animals evolved, their body structure, it changed from cellular to tissue to organ system level of development. Now that you have seen this, I want you to see this table once again to have an idea. So first level of development is cellular level, and I told you that non-chordate mein it is only the porifera where the development is cellular level of development, right? Then we have tissue level. पॉरीफेरा के बाद आया आपका सिलेंट्रेट। सिलेंट्रेट जिसको हम लोग निडेरिया भी बोलते हैं, सिलेंट्रेट इज also called as nidaria and ctenophora. They have tissue level of development. Platyhelminth and Aschelhelminth, they have organ level of development, and Aschelhelminth onwards from annelids till chordates, all of them they have organ system level of development. Now a question that comes to my mind, मेरे दिमाग में एक क्वेश्चन आया था। क्या आया था कि एनालिड में भी, एनालिड मीन्स अर्थवर्म, एंड कॉर्डेट में यू कैन कंज्यूम योरसेल्फ बिकॉज वी आर आल्सो कॉर्डेट्स। सो क्या एनालिड एंड ह्यूमन बीइंग जिनकी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी इतनी वेरी करती है, जहां एनालिड में आएगा अर्थवर्म, a very small organism so vulnerable, and we are the chordates का topmost, we are so evolved. If both of us we have organ system of level of development, is our development same? क्या development wise are we same? No. Why? When organ system came in annelids, those organ systems also became complicated with evolution. For example, maybe annelid has digestive system. We also have digestive system, but ours is more complicated. Maybe annelid just has maybe esophagus and stomach and something like this, but we have mouth, then we have pharynx, esophagus, stomach. Stomach is divided into 3 parts, then intestine is divided into small intestine, large intestine. That means though annelid and chordates, both of us we have organ system level of development, but the organ system also showed complexity, that is it evolved with time. I will give you 2 examples which are very well quoted in your NCERT. आपके NCERT का हम 2 example देंगे. One is in terms of digestive system. मैं आपको एक बात बता दूं, हमारे बॉडी में, हमारे मतलब किंगडम एनिमेलिया में, that system, organ system which came first, वो ऑर्गन सिस्टम जो सबसे पहले आया, दैट वाज डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम. एंड द डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम, सी हाउ इट इवॉल्व्ड. इनिशियली द डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम वाज लाइक दिस. आई टेल यू, डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज गट. ठीक है, इट इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज गट. इनिशियली इट वाज लाइक दिस. दैट मींस देयर वाज अ सिंगल ओपनिंग फॉर टेकिंग इन ऑफ फूड एंड फॉर गिविंग आउट योर वेस्ट. No anus, only mouth, right? So in many organisms, many मतलब porifera, coelenterate, ctenophora, platyhelminth तक the body organization was like this. That means the digestive system was incomplete. Incomplete means there was a single opening which served as both mouth and anus. Gradually, what we did was we took it to the other end, so that we could have a separate opening for taking in of food and separate opening for giving out of waste. See this is how it developed. This system of development, so this is called as incomplete digestive system, right? And this is called as complete digestive system, and complete digestive system is also called as tube within tube system. It is also called as tube within the tube system. Now what do I mean by this? Try to understand. अगर आप देखोगे अपने बॉडी को भी, you have a digestive system which goes from the mouth and it ends in the anus, right? So your digestive system is a tube and this body is also a tube, right? So there is a central tube within a larger tube. This is the larger tube. अब बीच में आपका digestive system, you can see this. So this is one tube and this is another tube. So this is called as tube within a tube system. So though digestive system it came up, it organ system आया तो digestive system आया, but it evolved. इसमें भी बेटा बहुत सारा change आया. Initially it was just mouth, stomach and duodenum outside. Then later it became differentiated. Mouth, pharynx, right? Then stomach, then the stomach became more differentiated, then the intestine became more differentiated, small and large, so on. That means once organ system of development came in, the organ system also evolved with time. One example I have given you. Another example showing that how organ system, it changed its complexity over time is regarding your circulatory system. I'll just tell you, the first organism जिसमें circulatory system आया था, the first phylum actually जिसमें circulatory system आया था, that was annelids. That was annelids. And this circulatory system, from annelid to human being, we all have circulatory system, right? But the circulatory system also showed a change in complexity. There are two types of circulatory system. You can see here, one is called as closed circulatory system and the other is called as open circulatory system. Now what is the difference between the two? I will just tell you. See this. Say I will just draw the heart. So make simple, I am drawing a cockroach heart. Because cockroach ka heart is an example of open circulatory system. So I am just drawing it. So this is the heart of cockroach, like this. It is 13 chambered. I am not drawing all the 13 chambers. I am just drawing 4 chambers. And say this is the body of the cockroach. Okay? Say this is the body of the cockroach. Again, let me tell you that the heart is 13 chambered, but I have just drawn 4 chamber to make you explain actually how things happen. अब होता क्या है इस हार्ट में, यहाँ पर किनारे में there is opening called as ostia, right? There is opening called as ostia, and what happened? Blood enters through this, and from the heart it will come out. And the heart is not well connected with, it's not, it is not this, that it is not like this. And what I am trying to show, ये ऐसा नहीं है that the circulatory system is like this and the blood will flow in these channels. No, the blood does not flow in channels, rather, right? The blood actually will flow like this in open spaces. I have to make this again. So this is my heart, this is this, the blood will actually come out from here and it will flow in the entire body. आपका body में ऐसे blood तैर रहा है और सारे organs ऐसे blood में तैर रहे हैं. The organs, they are just floating in the blood. This type of circulatory system where this type of circulatory system where the heart does not flow through proper channels called as arteries, veins and capillaries. Rather, you can see here, this is an arthropod heart. This is your heart, you can see it very clearly. And the heart opens into open-ended blood vessels. It just ends into open-ended blood vessels. The blood will enter into the heart, it will come out and then it will just spread out in the body space rather than moving into closed vessels. This type of heart is called as open circulatory system. Now look at here. यहाँ पर क्या है? The blood goes into the heart and from the heart this vessel is not broken. यहाँ टूटा नहीं है कि now the blood will flow across the entire body. Rather this vessel is closed and blood will flow only through these closed vessels called as arteries, veins and capillaries. Such a blood circulatory system is closed as closed circulatory system because the blood flows through closed channels, and this is called as your open circulatory system because here the blood vessels are just abruptly broken such that the entire body is basically filled up with the blood and the organs, they actually float in the blood. This is called as open circulatory system. Now I will tell you something about this. अभी जो हमने पढ़ा है level of development. So let us first see it in a comparative chart. I hope everyone can see the level of organization about what I was telling you is first is polyphylla. They are cellular level, that means they are made up of many cells, but the cells are not distinguished into tissues and organs. Then we have coelenterate and ctenophora who are tissue. Then platyhelminth and ascohelminth are organ, and from annelids till chordates. See, annelid, arthropod, mollusca, echinoderm, hemichordate, and I have written only one word chordate. I have not further divided chordate. So this is called as organ system level of development. In organ system level of development, if you talk about the two systems which I taught you, first is digestive system. Let me put it here. First is digestive system. This is the first system, organ system which came in our body, and digestive system came right from coelenterate, right? But coelenterate से लेकर ascal platyhelminth तक the digestive system had a single opening for mouth and anus. It had a single opening for mouth and anus. That means the digestive system was incomplete. This is the first organism where we have tube within a tube system. That means there is a separate for mouth and there is a separate for anus. And then all of them, they have complete digestive system. Right? Now coming to circulatory system. Now if I come to the next circulatory system, till here the circulatory system is absent. Till where? Till this ascal helminth. It is absent. ठीक, सबसे पहले किस में आया? Annelid में. You know it that closed circulatory system is more advanced because the blood is going through closed channels, but still it is a surprise that इसमें closed circulatory system था, closed circulatory system despite being the first where circulatory system was found, and then in these it was open. Here it is open circulatory system. Open circulatory system. In this also it is open circulatory system. Here the circulatory system otherwise is absent. This is also open circulatory system, and then chordates mein it is closed. So it is a surprise that annelid being the most primitive, फिर भी इसका circulatory system कैसा है? It is closed, and this also being so, this is also closed, and in remaining thing either it is open circulatory system or the circulatory system is absent. Right? So you must learn this like this. So let us quickly revise once again. We learned that Porifera, the level of development is cellular, coelenterate, it is tissue, Ctenophora, it is tissue, Platy and ascal helminths, it is organ, in all other it is organ system. You will say, ma'am, you said digestive system came right from here. So digestive system को otherwise organ system में बोलते नहीं है, क्योंकि जब तक खाना नहीं खाएंगे जिंदा कैसे रहेंगे, right? But in them the digestive system was open. This is the first one in which the digestive system was closed, and after that the digestive system became more complicated. Circulatory system came first in annelid, but it was a closed type, and in chordates also it is closed type. In all others either it is open, or in echinoderm a proper circulatory system is absent. Right? So with that, the first basis of classification, that is the level of organization, that is complete. See? So see, without, I have not even taught you anything right now, but you can speak something about coelenterate. You can tell, say if I ask you, tell me something about annelid. I have not even started teaching you annelid, but you can tell me something. You can already give me 2 points. One, annelids, they have organ system level of development, their digestive system is complete, and their circulatory system is closed one. देखिए भैया पढ़ना start भी नहीं किए, but you are already, you have started giving me some characteristics about them. So with that we have completed the first basis of classification. Now we will move on the second basis of classification, that is called as symmetry. Right? Symmetry के लिए basically there are 3 types. The symmetry, either the organisms are, what is symmetry? First तो ये जान लो. What is symmetry? Symmetry is something when you cut the body through a plane passing through the center of your body. आपकी body का पहले center निकालिए. A plane passing through the center of your body. Obviously, अगर उसको काटेंगे तो it will divide into 2 parts. What is the relationship of those 2 parts with each other? That's called symmetry. When a plane passes through the center of the body gets divided into 2 parts. What is the relationship between the two? That is called as symmetry. Okay? So symmetry wise, animals are of 3 types. Either they are asymmetrical or radially symmetrical or bilaterally symmetrical. Now let me tell you first what is an asymmetrical animal. There are some animals Say I'm just making a bad diagram. There are some animals where any plane passing through the center, say this is the center, any plane passing through the center, यहाँ से पास करिए, यहाँ से पास करिए, the right and the left part, they will never be mirror image of each other, they will not be same. Such an animal is called as asymmetrical animals. So many body animals, their body is asymmetrical. You pass any plane, you pass it like this, you pass it like this, you pass it like this, any plane passing through the center of the body will not divide the body into two equal halves. That is called as asymmetrical. Now then is radially symmetrical. What is radially symmetrical? There are certain organisms, right? I'm just drawing a rough figure here. And suppose this is the center of the body. There are certain organisms that any plane passing through the center will divide the body into two equal symmetrical parts. कहीं से भी pass करिए, right and left, they will be completely symmetrical. That type of symmetry is called as radial symmetry. And the third is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry में the best example is human being. There is only one plane. I am going to draw a little funny diagram, but I think that will be enough for you to understand. Say I am just drawing a human being, right? So there is only one plane whereby the left and right parts, they look identical to each other or similar to each other. This is called as bilateral. अगर human being को ऐसे काटोगे तो we are not only one plane, not more than one, because in this part में only hands will come, this part में only legs will come. So there is just one and only one plane which when passes through the center of your body, it divides your body into two equal halves. That is, that type of symmetry is called as bilateral symmetry. Now that we have known that, let us see how the symmetry is distributed in various animals. So first I am showing you porifera. Only some porifera, yaad rakhna beta, not all porifera. Porifera is the only group of animal whose body is asymmetrical, and that too not all porifera, but only few porifera, their body is asymmetrical. Asymmetry is when the animal body cannot be divided into two equivalent halves along any plane. यहाँ देखो, किसी भी plane से इसको अगर आप काटोगे, just look at this. If you cut it like this, or you cut it like this, or you cut it like this, they will not divide the body into two equal halves. This is called as asymmetrical, right? Now next we will come to bilaterally or radially symmetrical. If you look at radially symmetrical, this is the diagram in your NCERT as well. Any plane which passes through the center, any plane, right, it will divide the body into two equal halves. See here I have drawn it. इसमें आएगा आपका echinoderms, cnidarians and ctenophorans, right? You can see here मैंने कुछ echinoderms की फोटो डाल रखे हैं. They all are radially symmetrical. I will give you the tabular form of the same, so don't worry for that. And the third is your bilaterally symmetrical. Just see, I have shown some diagrams. Only one plane. Say look at this crab, say look at this butterfly. So these animals, they include platyhelminth, ascalhelminth, annelid, arthropod, mollusca and chordates. You will say, ma'am, this was little too much. So don't worry, I have this table for you. Right? So only, listen, only few poriferans are asymmetrical. Again repeat, asymmetry is found only in few poriferans. All other poriferans are radially symmetrical. Coelenterate में radial symmetry है, Ctenophora में radial symmetry है, and echinoderms में radial symmetry है. All others possess bilateral symmetry. All others possess bilateral symmetry. Now this is not only good, this is great when you study in a comparative manner. You have already studied plant classification with me. You know that when you study comparative manner, because the evolution has been phylogenetic. जो क्लासिफिकेशन हम पढ़ते हैं वो phylogenetic है, तो उसमें क्या होता है, इंडिविजुअल रटना नहीं पड़ता. You come to have a comparison, so effortlessly you learn so many characters. So now if I ask you, give me few characters of annelids, without even touching annelids. You can tell me, ma'am, they have organ system level of development, digestive system is complete, circulatory system is closed, and the symmetry is bilateral symmetry. If I ask you, please name all those phylum where the symmetry is radial, you will say some Polypherans, Coelenterate, Ctenophora and Echinoderms, right? So this is about the second basis of classification, that is your symmetry. I am sure this is clear to everyone. Now that the second basis is clear, we will move to the third basis, that is segmentation, right? What is segmentation? Let me tell you that. Segmentation means there are many animals whose body is actually accumulation of many segments. बहुत सारे ऐसे जानवर हैं जिनका बॉडी ऐसे segmented है. The body is actually, made up of many segments, right? This segmentation is grossly of two types in animals. One is called as metameric segmentation, the other is called as non-metameric segmentation. Actually, animals are basically of three types. One, some are those जिनका body is asegmented. Body segment में बटा हुआ ही नहीं है, right? They are asegmented. And जिनका segmented है, the segmentation can be either metameric or the segmentation can be non-metameric. Now what do I mean? Now listen. First let me come to metameric segmentation. Metameric segmentation means those animals where the external segmentation, देखो बाहर से लग रहा है ना, the body is segmented, ठीक है, where the external segmentation, ठीक है, due to annuli. ये अगर मेरा, I am just going to show you once again. See, I have an animal whose body is segment like, ऊपर से ये जो segmentation दिख रहा है ना बेटा, this is called as annuli. जो ऊपर से दिख रहा है, that is called as annuli. ठीक है, लेकिन जब इस एनिमल को हमने अंदर से काटा, ठीक है, तो अंदर से जब काटा तो ये जो एन्यूलाई है, the external segmentation due to annuli corresponds with internal segments due to septa. केवल ये ऐसे बाहर से आपको नहीं लग रहा है सेगमेंटेड है, जब आपने एनिमल को काटा तो उसके बॉडी के अंदर भी क्या था, सेप्टा था, ठीक. Then this is called as ट्रू सेगमेंटेशन, जिसको हम मेटामेरिक सेगमेंटेशन भी कहते हैं, राइट. When the external segmentation due to annuli corresponds with the internal segments due to septa, then that's called as true segmentation or metameric. जबकि कुछ animals ऐसे होते हैं जिसके बाहर में segmentation है due to annuli, लेकिन जब बॉडी को अंदर से देखोगे ना बेटा, so it is a continuous chamber. It is a continuous chamber. The segmentation is only peripheral. ऊपर से लग रहा है कि there is one segment, there is another segment like this. ऊपर से ऐसा लग रहा है. ये ऊपर से जो है इसको हम कहते हैं annuli. ठीक है, ऊपर से जो है वहां अंदर में भी होना चाहिए. That is called as septa. So if there is only external segmentation due to annuli, but internally it is a continuous, then we call it as non-metameric. And if external जहाँ segmentation है, there is external, internal भी आपका septa पाया जाता है, then that is called as true segmentation or metameric segmentation. ये तो main difference आपको बता दिए. The main difference between metameric and non-metameric segmentation. Now listen, there are other differences as well, right? What are those other differences? As I teach you, I will let you know. So basically, animals can be of three types. Either their body is not segmented, or if it is segmented, some of them the body is metameric segmented. पहला point क्या बताया? पहला point ये बताया that the external segmentation due to annuli. Just look at this. ये एक earthworm है. The external segmentation due to annuli corresponds with internal segments due to septa. Then this is called as true or metameric segmentation. But this is only one part. Second, in these animals, the new parts always add from the back. मतलब अगर ये मेरा एक animal है and if it has to grow, the new segments will always add from the back and not from the front. So the new segments are added from the posterior end of the body, and the third point is the segments are interdependent. What do I mean by segments interdependent? That means, say, if this organ has a nephridia or a kidney like structure, then this will also have a kidney like structure, and their working will be interdependent. That means a segment is dependent on the other segment for its functioning. That means the segments are interdependent. Then we call it as true metameric segmentation. Let me tell you once again. Metameric or true segmentation is one when the external segmentation due to annuli corresponds with internal segment due to septa. The new segments are always added from the back, and the segments are interdependent from each other. Metasegmentic segmentation is found only in three groups. Only in three groups. One is annelid, the second is arthropod, and the third is chordates. ठीक, आप बोलोगे मैम हम भी तो कॉर्डेट हैं, ह्यूमन बीइंग है, हम भी तो कॉर्डेट है, हमारी बॉडी में कहाँ सेगमेंटेशन है, कहाँ है सेगमेंट? आप बोलते हो कि वी आर मेटामेरिकली सेगमेंटेड, दैट मींस देयर इज एक्सटर्नल सेगमेंट एंड देयर इज एन इंटरनल सेप्टा. कहाँ है हमारी बॉडी में? तो कई सेगमेंट ही, वी हैव वन बॉडी. आई टेल यू. डिड यू एवर नोटिस दैट यू हैव वर्टिब्रल कॉलम एट द बैक? और जो आपका वर्टिब्रल कॉलम है, इट इज नॉट वन कंटिन्यूअस रॉड लाइक स्ट्रक्चर. Your vertebrae is not one continuous structure. Rather, हमारा जो vertebral column है, it is broken into a lot of smaller bones like this. ठीक है, ये हमारा vertebrae है ना, and इतने सारे segments में पाया जाना कहीं ना कहीं it is an indication that initially, ठीक है, our body was segmented, but as we evolved, the septa got lost and the segmentation is not visible. But इस segmentation का proof or what we will say that a sort of a history, some sort of proof that yes, our body was once segmented. This having this vertebrae in small segments, this somehow proves that our ancestors, their body was segmented. So you will remember that even in chordates the body is metamerically segmented. Once we have done metameric, we will come to non-metameric segmentation, जिसका एक ही example है, that is platyhelminths, right? There is only one example, that is platyhelminths, and here you will see platyhelminthes, and you will see here that a platyhelminth में I have drawn the tapeworm. That's the most common example. See, here the external segment does not correspond with internal segment. ये केवल ऊपर से segmented है, but if you look at it internally, right, it is one continuous chamber, right? So here the segmentation is only external. Second, the new segments are added from the anterior end. The new segments are added not from the posterior but from the anterior end, and here the segments are not interdependent. They are not interdependent. In fact, they can behave independent of each other. इसीलिए तो tapeworm का जब पीछे का जब these segments they break, they behave independent of each other, so they can survive because they actually behave independent of each other. So this type of segmentation is called as non-metameric segmentation. Now let us have a good look at the comparative. So this comparative chart. Now if we come here, the third point I have taught you is segmentation. Only in platyhelminths you can see the body is non-metamerically segmented. In annelids, arthropods and chordates, the body is metamerically segmented. In others, the body is not segmented. See, once again I will do that. अब comparative पढ़ने का कितना फायदा है? Now if I ask you, I have not taught you annelids, and you just don't know anything about it, but you can speak so many characters. You can tell me, ma'am, annelids are those organs जिसमें organ system level of development है, digestive system complete है, circulatory system इसका closed है, then the symmetry is bilaterally symmetrical and the body is metamerically segmented. That means the body is divided into a knot of segment where the external segmentation due to annuli corresponds with the internal segment due to septa, and the new body part, it always adds from the back, and the segments are interdependent. See, such a lovely way when you study like this, when you know the basis of classification and when you learn it in a comparative manner, see how you come to know so many characters effortlessly. So we have done 3 bases, right? What are those? Level of organization, body symmetry and segmentation. We have already done. Now next we are going to do is germ layers. Now what are germ layers? Diploblastic and triploblastic. This is the next basis of classification. Now what is this germ layers? Listen. All animals are multicellular. सारे animals की body multicellular है, right? But these cells, they are arranged in layers. We are multicellular and the cells, they are arranged in layers. If the cells are arranged only in 2 layers, the outer layer being ectoderm and the inner layer being endoderm. See here, ये purple से जो बना हुआ है, this is your ectoderm and this one is your endoderm. बीच में there is mesoglea, that means a gelatinous, it is a gelatinous mass जिसको हम mesoglea बोलते हैं. But mesoglea is not found in everyone. Yes, yeah, ठीक है, पाया जाता है mesoglea बीच में. This mesoglea is nothing but it is not cell. It is a gelatinous mass between the ectoderm and endoderm जिसमें कुछ cells float करते हैं and they make communication. This cell may come from there to here, thus maintaining communication between the 2 layers. Ectoderm and endoderm के बीच में some floating cells पाए जाते हैं which make communication between the 2 layers. But this is non-cellular. This is non-cellular. The cell is basically divided into 2 layers. The outer is called ectoderm, the inner. Such animals are called as diploblastic. Diplo means 2, blast means layer. The body is divided into 2 layers, an outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Such organisms are called as diploblastic. Diploblastic में कहाँ तक आएगा? Up to ctenophora. I'll show you in the table, right? In other animals, except few, the body में जितने cells हैं, that is organized into 3 layers. What are those? The outer layer of cell is called as ectoderm. You can see it over here. The outer layer of cell is called as ectoderm. Then the middle layer of cell is called as mesoderm. You can see this. And the inner layer of cell is called as endoderm. वैसे organism जिसमें जो cells हैं body के, they are organized into 3 layers: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Such animals are called as triploblastic animals. This is from phylum Platyhelminths till chordates. Right? So let us see what I am trying to tell you. So this is about the germ layer. So come here. Look at this germ layers. Porifera is diploblastic. Coelenterate is diploblastic. Ctenophora is diploblastic. From Platyhelminth onwards till us, the body का जो cells है, it is arranged in 3 layers, and thus such a body organization is called as triploblastic. Right? So again, if we come to annelids, see, without knowing, you are knowing so many characters. Even without touching the topic, you are knowing so many characters. Right? So we have done 4 bases of classification. 1, level of organization. 2nd, symmetry. 3rd, segmentation. 4th is your germ layer. We have already done it. Now next basis of classification we are going to do is coelom. Now this is a really very interesting topic, coelom. I have often seen children, they do not understand what is the coelom, right? I will tell you what is the coelom and then we will see how it will go about. सुनिए, हमारा जो body है, right? हमारा जो body है, ये कैसा बना है? If you look at the previous diagram, so I want you to notice one thing from the previous diagram that we are all triploblastic. So मैं पहले triploblastic की बात कर लूँ. Just look at it. One thing which is not labeled here is यहाँ diploblastic हो चाहे triploblastic, the center hollow part. See, this is ectoderm, this is endoderm. What is this center part? This is the gut. What is this? This is ectoderm outside. This is endoderm. This is mesoderm. What is inside? It is gut. What is gut? Gut is digestive system. Gut digestive system का एक और नाम है gut. That means अगर body को ऐसे काटोगे तो there is a layer of cell. You know that is ectoderm, उसके अंदर mesoderm, फिर endoderm और जो बीच का खोखला cavity जो लंबा tube like structure है which will continue from mouth to anus, that center part is called as gut. right? So this is how initially the triploblastic organism developed. जो पहला ट्रिप्लोब्लास्टिक एनिमल था वो कौन था? I told you that was platyhelminths. So platyhelminth में the structure was like this. ठीक है कि भैया हमारा यहाँ पर एक ectoderm है. Say this is my ectoderm and say this is my mesoderm and say this is my endoderm and the cavity that will come in the center, that I am calling it as gut. So this is how the body developed, right? Now what happened is, now you can see this. This is how it developed. Now what happened is, those अब प्रॉब्लम क्या हुआ कि आपके बॉडी में as evolution happened, जैसे जैसे एनिमल्स इवॉल्व हुए, तो other than gut we needed other organs as well. We needed a circulatory system, we needed a respiratory system, we needed a other locomotory system. We needed more systems. उनको कहाँ रखें? लंग को कहाँ रखें, लिवर को कहाँ रखें, हार्ट को कहाँ रखें, बचे हुए को कहाँ रखें? आपका बॉडी तो ऐसे ही, आप ऐसे काटोगे तो बाहर एक्टोडर्म, मेसोडर्म, एंडोडर्म और बीच में गट, कहाँ रखें? Right? Then what we decided, we needed some extra place. Just take an example. Say this is a room. Now this room का जो ये दीवार है, this wall, right? This is ectoderm, then this is mesoderm, then this is endoderm, and जो इस room का जो बीच का फिर खाली जगह बचा, that I'm making a kitchen. This is my room where I stay, and the wall is this ये room का जो wall है 3 लेयर का है, ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. मोटा मोटा दीवार होने की वजह से बीच में जो जगह है रूम का, I have kept it as kitchen कि भैया वहां पर खाना बनाएंगे, that is my gut. भाई अगर आपके घर में सिर्फ किचन है तो फिर बेडरूम, सोने के लिए जगह, जब आपके कोई गेस्ट आएंगे, लिविंग रूम, you know you need other rooms also, study room, you need kitchen. So kitchen तो हो गया gut. So where will you have others? So what we decided was we separated these layers. We separated these layers. Say what we did was, now look at this. Now this is beautiful. So this is my ectoderm. You will see it. We are going to just even color it so that you understand. So this is my ectoderm. Then what we decided is my next layer, the green one, that is your mesoderm. So that's great. This is mesoderm. Okay. So that's great. And then is my endoderm. What I did was endoderm I made it here like this, right? I did it like this. So now what happened is, ये बीच वाला तो gut है बेटा आपका, you have this gut, और इस endoderm और mesoderm के बीच में भी you are getting some extra place. You can see here, this extra place you are getting this. This is ectoderm, mesoderm. Then I have kept a little gap, and then I put the endoderm. And this cavity I called it as coelom. Coelom means cavity. An extra cavity I made to accommodate other organs. I'll again tell you like this. मेरा ये रूम 3 दीवार का बना है, ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, बीच में किचन. बचे हुए कमरे कहाँ लगाए? हमने क्या किया? ectoderm, mesoderm, और जो अंदर वाली दीवार है उसको अंदर पुश कर दिया. तो इस दीवार और ये ectoderm, mesoderm, ये एक दीवार, 2 दीवार और तीसरी दीवार को हमने अंदर ऐसे खिसका दिया. जब अंदर खिसका दिए तो ये बीच में एक्स्ट्रा स्पेस मिला ना, बीच में तो है ही गट, बट इन दोनों के बीच में जो एक्स्ट्रा स्पेस मिला, दिस वी कॉल दैट mesoderm, right? And this cavity we call it as coelom. In some animals there is no extra cavity other than gut. These animals are called as acoelomates. They are called as acoelomates. They don't have an extra cavity in the form of gut. They are called as acoelomates. But there are some animals where we have an extra, and this is called coelom. No, this is not a true coelom. Then what is a true coelom? Try to first understand, right? And then I will take you to the other slide. इस केस में एक प्रॉब्लम क्या था? That mesoderm was towards one side. There's ectoderm, mesoderm, then a gap, then endoderm and gut. So the gap between the two is called as coelom. No, this we call as pseudocoelom. This we call as pseudocoelom. तो आप बोलोगे मैम what is a true coelom? In true coelom we split the mesoderm such that, I'm going to draw the diagram here, such that say this is my ectoderm. Very well enough. हम बार बार बात कर रहे हैं. I'm telling you that this is my ectoderm, right? Mesoderm I have split up. मतलब half mesoderm is here My half mesoderm is here. You can see this. I'm just coloring it, right? And my half mesoderm is with endoderm. This is my endoderm, right? And half mesoderm I brought it here. ठीक है? And ये बीच वाला क्या है? The beach wala cavity is gut and this is coelom. And here what is happening? The coelom is guarded by mesoderm on either side. इधर भी mesoderm है, इधर भी mesoderm है. वैसे को हम कहते हैं true coelom. अब आप बोलोगे मैम कैविटी से ही ना मतलब था अदर ऑर्गन्स को अकोमोडेट करने के लिए. दिस इज अ coelomate where I have a single cavity called gut. I made another cavity for accommodating other organs. This is pseudocoelom where it is lined. This coelom is lined by mesoderm only on one end. It is lined by mesoderm only on one end, not both the ends. And if it is lined by mesoderm on both the ends, इधर भी और इधर भी, if it is lined by mesoderm on both the ends, then this is called as true coelom. Right? अब मेरी बात को ध्यान से सुनो. Now ये true coelom और इसका you can ask me मैम अरे भाई हार्ट किडनी रखने के लिए आपको जगह ही चाहिए था ना. How does it matter if it is lined by mesoderm on either side or if it is lined by only one side? I'll tell you later, right? But I just want to tell you that you know when the body developed, remember a true or false. ये तो pseudocoelom, pseudo means false. There is a cavity but not lined by mesoderm on either side. So there is a cavity, so coelom, but it's pseudo because it's not lined by mesoderm. This is true, it is lined by both mesoderm and both the side. You will remember the concept of coelom became possible only when the organism became triploblastic. जब 3 लेयर का होगा तभी ना ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm की हम बात करेंगे, right? Because coelom के साथ mesoderm is very important. And the first organism to become triploblastic was who? Platyhelminth. But Platyhelminth को strike नहीं किया. अभी तो हमको सिर्फ क्या लगा? See, I am organizing my body into 3 layers. That's great. But then, you know, the moment you get something, you start thinking higher. पहले आपके पास जब पैसे आ गए, तो आपने क्या सोचा? अच्छा, अब एक दुकान और कर लेते. पहले थोड़ा सोचा था कि शुरू में 2 दुकान करेंगे. एक दुकान किया. You made 1 shop. You earned well. Then you thought, why not? So when Platyhelminth they developed 3 layers, then they thought, you know, why don't we split these layers and create an extra cavity where other organs can be kept? So though Platyhelminth is the first triploblastic, but coelom का concept came first in Askell-Helminth, which was pseudo, and in all others it was true coelomate. I'm going to show you that. Now let me explain you with another example. Say I was talking about this room. In my room there is a ectoderm. फिर जो बीच वाला दीवार है मैंने उसको आधा कर दिया. बीच दीवार का आधा इधर रखा, आधा इधर खिसका दिया with the अंदर वाला दीवार wall, such that half mesoderm is here, half mesoderm and endoderm, and this cavity which is lying by mesoderm on either side, that's called as a true coelom. Now you must have one question, ma'am, how does it make a difference? I just needed a coelom. How does it make a difference that whether it is lying by mesoderm on either side or it is lying on only one side? I'll reply that to you. But before that, I just try to show you that the coelom was possible only when the organism became triploblastic. The first organism to be triploblastic was Platyhelminth, but they are a coelomate. They just have gut. It is Askell-Helminth who tried it for the first time. It was pseudocoelomate and all others were coelomate. So let us move to the next topic, that is coelom. Now coelom is a fluid-filled cavity. It is and this cavity is filled up with fluid. This is actually filled up with fluid. That is formed by splitting of the mesodermal cells during embryonic development. It lies between the body wall on one side. Yes. एक साइड आपका बॉडी वॉल है, यू नो दैट, जब हमने स्प्लिटिंग किया, और एक साइड क्या है? गट है. बीच में गट, एंडोडर्म एंड मेसोडर्म, एंड यहाँ एक्टोडर्म एंड मेसोडर्म. सो इट इज बिटवीन द बॉडी वॉल एंड द गट. यस, ठीक है. और विद मेसोडर्म ऑन ईदर साइड. व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ द coelom? It gives space for other organs and protects the internal organs and acts as a shock absorber. Since it is filled up with fluid, and अगर organs fluid में तैरेंगे तो obviously क्या है? Shock absorber का काम करेगा. I'll give you an example. See, this is my fist. You hit me, it hurts. Now what I will do is I'll take a polythene का packet, fill it with water and put my hand inside it. That means this is my hand. Then there is a polythene packet and it is filled with water. Now if you hit it outside, your pressure will diffuse in the form of waves in the water. As a result, my hand will keep on floating properly without much damage. So this coelom में जो आपके external organs हैं, and since it is filled up with fluid, it gives protection to the internal organs as well. Is that clear? So this is the concept of coelom, and this is of organisms are basically of three types. Let us see. Some are acoelomates, some are pseudocoelomates, and some are coelomates or eucoelomates. First, let us come to acoelomate. You can see it very clear here. Here you have an ectoderm, you have a mesoderm, here you have endoderm. There is no extra cavity other than gut. Such animals are called as acoelomate. I told you it is from Porifera to Platyhelminths. I just now told you. Now next let us come to pseudocoelomates. अच्छा, how it is formed? Just it is showing. आपकी body में यहाँ से you are made up of 3 layers of cells: ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. The outer layer it went inside. The outer layer. The outer layer. This is your ectoderm. This ectoderm it went inside. It formed the endoderm, and the space between that is filled up with mesoderm. So it is completely packed, and there is only one cavity called as gut. So this is called as acoelom. So you can see the color combination as well. The central cavity is called as the gut. Now let's come to pseudocoelom. आपके NCERT में डिफाइन ऐसा किया है, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. दोनों तरफ mesoderm नहीं है. In fact, mesoderm is found in patches, and patches में ऐसा दिखा है. That means little mesoderm here, little here, little here. वो भी है और जो मैंने समझाया वो भी है, right? Then this is between the ectoderm and endoderm. The mesoderm is found in patches. It is not lined on either side like this. Then this is called as pseudocoelom, and the only example here is Aspergillus. इसका formation का diagram is good. So let us see that. Pseudocoelom, how was it formed? Okay, it is not okay. See this. What happened is, you can see it very clearly here. This is your ectoderm, right? This is your ectoderm. Ectoderm goes inside to form endoderm. So this is ectoderm. The blue part is endoderm. ठीक है? And this yellow part is mesoderm. Mesoderm is towards, and there is this extra cavity. You can see there is this extra cavity other than gut. ये तो आपका gut है ही. You have your gut over here, right? But then you have an extra cavity. ठीक? This is called as blastocele इसको कह रहा है. That is your pseudocoelom. Since this coelom is guarded by, अंदर में क्या है? This is endoderm, this is mesoderm, this is ectoderm. So this is called as your pseudocoelom. Right? Now let us come to the third one. That is true coelom. A true coelom you can see here very clearly. This is your ectoderm. This is your mesoderm. Half mesoderm is here. You can see that. And then endoderm, and this cavity between the two, that is called as coelom, right? It is found from annelids to chordates. अब इसका development कैसे होता है? Let us see a diagram. So if you see a very nice diagram once again, you can see constantly black part has been labeled as ectoderm in all the 3 figures. So this is your ectoderm. The blue part has been labeled as endoderm in all the figures. So this is endoderm. And the yellow part has been labeled as mesoderm in all the diagrams. So that is mesoderm. Now let's see the mesoderm will split. See, you can see छोटा सा split किया और किया, and split करते करते पूरा आ गया, such that you have an additional cavity over here. See this. You have an additional cavity over here which is lined by mesoderm on either side. Here also there is mesoderm. Here there is also mesoderm. How does it look like? This is ectoderm. This is mesoderm, right? And then इधर में क्या है? This cavity, and then अंदर में क्या है? Mesoderm and endoderm. तो एक तरफ क्या है? Mesoderm, endoderm. एक तरफ क्या है? Ectoderm and mesoderm. So this is lined by mesoderm on either side. Ectoderm, mesoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Such a coelom is called as true coelom. I'm sure coelom का concept आपको clear हो गया. बट अभी भी मुझे पता आपके मन में एक सवाल ये उठ रहा है, मैम हाउ डज इट मैटर दैट mesoderm is on either side? I will tell you towards the end. So first let us look at this. So three types of coelom. I have just drawn three animals. यहाँ पर क्या है? The ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, और बीच में है gut. There is no extra cavity. This is called as a coelomate, right? This is ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. There is a cavity, but not lined by mesoderm. Pseudocoelom. Look at here: ectoderm, mesoderm, then mesoderm and endoderm. Cavity lined by mesoderm on either side. This is called as true coelom. कभी-कभी क्या होता है? This coelom, this cavity is filled with blood. आपको याद है मैंने आर्थ्रोपोड में आपको बताया था. I told you that in arthropod, the circulatory system, it suddenly the vessels they break and the blood flows through the entire body. So those organisms in which this coelom is filled with blood. The coelom is filled with blood. In that the coelom is very reduced and filled with blood. Such a blood-filled coelom is called as hemocoel, which is found only in arthropods and mollusca. Right? This is called as, in arthropods and mollusca, the coelom is reduced, and you know what happens is the cavity contains blood, and then this is called as hemocoel. Clear? So with that we have done a lot on coelom. So this is, what is the significance of coelom? Finally आपके मन में ये सवाल आएगा, ma'am, why mesoderm on either side? Why mesoderm on either side? Now listen, this is very interesting. Not in your book, but you must know. What is it? Mesoderm, they form muscles. I once again repeat, mesoderm आगे जाकर muscles बनाता है, right? If your body is not lined by mesoderm on either side, see, this is my body wall, this is ectoderm, then mesoderm, right? Then there is coelom. Then I have endoderm. So this will form muscles only on the outer side of my body. Only the outer side, my body wall will have muscles. As a result, my body wall will be flexible, but not my gut. Gut नहीं, क्यों? क्योंकि gut endoderm से है. So gut में flexibility नहीं होगी. अगर हम उल्टा करते, बाहर ectoderm, फिर coelom, फिर mesoderm and gut, तो फिर आपके gut में flexibility होती. मीजोडर्म से मसल बनेगा, एंड मसल्स क्या होता है, अगर मसल नहीं होगा गट में तो पेरिस्टालसिस कैसे होगा, खाना मूव कैसे करेगा, स्टमक में चर्न कैसे करेगा. सो इफ आई वुड हैव put mesoderm towards the gut, my gut would have shown peristalsis, but my body would have been stiff, right? If I had put the mesoderm towards my body wall would have flexibility, but my gut could not show movement. So what I decided, I splitted the mesoderm, I gave half to the body and half to the gut. As a result, both my body wall shows flexibility and my gut also shows flexibility, a phenomena called as peristalsis. Right? So it is lined by mesoderm on either side. And what is the significance of coelom? A coelom which is lined by mesoderm gives rise to muscles. This muscle will surround the gut. The gut will also be surrounded by muscles. Let me see here. गट के चारों तरफ भी मसल्स हैं, as well as the body wall के भी चारों तरफ मसल्स हैं. As a result, there will be efficient digestion because food can be pushed through the digestive tract by muscles. आपका body में भी flexibility है and digestive system भी better evolved है. क्यों? क्योंकि food can be easily pushed through the digestive system. Is that clear? So this is about your coelom. So let us see this. As I always show you in this comparative diagram. This diagram will be very helpful to you. So coelom में until unless you are triploblastic, you cannot be coelomate. So obviously all diploblastic will be acoelomate, but the first triploblastic will also be acoelomate. Then Aspel-Hellman pseudocoelomate, and all including chordates, all of us are coelomates. Great. Now the last basis of classification. The last basis of classification is notochord. What is notochord? Just look at this diagram. Notochord, I'm just drawing it with red color. This one. ये जो आपका बना हुआ है, ये आपके NCERT का diagram है. It is a hypothetical diagram of a chordate. It's not a chordate diagram. It's a hypothetical. They have imagined the chordate body like this. Overall. Line diagram of a chordate body. So you can see this part, which I have colored over here. You can see this. ठीक है? This is a rod-like structure, ठीक, which is present at the back. Just imagine, अगर हमारे यहाँ पीछे vertebral column नहीं होता, it is something like a rod-like structure. If I take it out, my body will become like this. So if I put it like this, my body becomes erect. It's a rod-like structure. It is made up of mesoderm. Remember, those organisms which have this rod-like structure called as notochord, right? This side of your body is called ventral. How do I remember? V for victory. This is ventral. So this is going to be dorsal. So those organisms who have a solid एकदम ठोस, अंदर से एकदम solid, not hollow, right? Those organisms who have a solid rod-like structure made up of mesoderm at their dorsal end at any part of their life. आप बोलोगे मैम हमारे में कहाँ है notochord? Embryonic condition में था. When we were within the mother's womb, right? When we were within the mother's womb, we were just an embryo. तो सबसे पहले हमारे बॉडी में notochord ही बना था. This was a solid rod-like structure which was present on the dorsal wall of our body. Later, this got converted into vertebral column. Later, ठीक है? This got replaced into vertebral column. So all those organisms who have a solid, see, it is mesodermally derived tubular rod-like structure which is present where? Between the nerve cord and the digestive tract. This part is your digestive tract. And this is your nerve cord. What is nerve cord? You will know later. Nerve cord बाद में जाकर आपका brain and spinal cord बनाया था. You will know it later. So this solid rod-like structure which is present between this, see, this nerve cord and the digestive tract, this is called as notochord. Animals जिसमें notochord होता है at any stage of their life, they are called as chordates. And those animals which never possess notochord, they are called as non-chordates. So if you remember, एकदम starting में I had divided animals into non-chordates and chordates. Then I divided non-chordates into porifera, coelenterate, and chordates are further divided, about which I am going to speak later. So this basic division into non-chordates and chordates was on basis of notochord. Life के किसी भी stage में you must have this notochord at least some stage of your life. Think then only you are called a chordate. So let us see this. This is the last basis of classification I am going to teach you today. So let us look at this diagram now. All those animals which never possess notochord at any stage of their life, they are all non-chordates. Those who possess at least at some stage of their life, see, at least at some stage of their life, they are called as chordates. Right? So with that, how they have been classified, we have already had, let us have a very quick recap of some of the basis of classification. The first was, the level of organization. Porifera is cellular, then tissue, organ, and annelid organ onwards it is organ system. Body symmetry में only this one is asymmetrical. These four are radially symmetrical, remaining a bilateral. Segmentation में this is non-metameric segmentation. These three are metameric. These three, this annelid, arthropod, and chordate, these are metamerically segmented. All others body is unsegmented. Next, germ layer, it is diploblastic till here, triploblastic till the end. Nature of coelom, acoelomate till platyhelminth, axial helminth it is pseudocoelomate, annelid to end, they are all coelomates. Notochord is present only in chordates. Right? So now, see, I have just not started classification at all, but if I come to any one of them, say I tell you, give me some characters of arthropod. See, I have not taught you arthropod, but you can tell me, ma'am, they are all organ level, system level of development. In them, the digestive system is complete. The circulatory system is an open type of circulatory system. The body is bilaterally symmetrical. Body is metamerically segmented. That means the segments are interconnected. New segments add from the end. An external segment due to annuli corresponds with the internal segment due to septa. Their body is made up of three germ layers, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. So we call them triploblastic, and the center part is gut, but the mesoderm is split, right? And it is into two halves such that they have a true coelom. Other than that, I forgot to tell you this, that in these two, the coelom is filled up with blood. If you remember, in arthropod and mollusca, this coelom is filled with blood. So we also call this as hemocoel, H-A-E-M-O. Just let me write it once again. So in them, we call it as hemocoel. In arthropod and mollusca, HAEMOCOEL. So you can tell me that it is filled with blood, so we call it haemocoel, and the notochord is absent. Right? So with that, we have done a lot of points on the basis of classification. Now before we end today's lecture, we will quickly go through the NCERT to see what is there. Right? So please open page, I don't know what the page is. Just open your 4th chapter, right? And here you will see this is Kingdom Animalia, basis of classification. It has given first is level of organization. You can just see it here. Some of them they have tissue level of organization, it's given. Some of them they have organ level, and किसमें tissue level होता है, it's given. You know, organ level starts from platyhelminths, and then in animals like annelid, arthropod, mollusca, it is not organ level but it is organ system level of development. Then your NCERT also says that organ system shows various complexities. For example, digestive system in platyhelminth has single opening, while a complete digestive system is found in others. Similarly, circulatory system में there are 2 types, open and closed type. Right? Then there is some diagrams on symmetry as well. Next basis of classification is symmetry. Some are asymmetrical, some are radially, and some symmetrical. They have the example. Then you have the germ layers, diploblastic and triploblastic. It has the examples. Then you have the coelom. Then you this is a very important question in your school exam. Very important. Your teacher will ask. If you have any of your exams coming up, she or we will ask, 3-mark question. What are the 3 types of coelom? So it is, acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, and coelomate. You have to give the diagram, definition, and examples. Right? Then it is about segmentation, I taught you, and then it is about notochord. So with that, we have come to an end to today's lecture, where I have given you a comparative analysis on some of the major bases of classification for the various non-chordates and chordates. I hope just you go through it once again so that your clarity gets better. Please like the video, share it with your friends. New to my channel, then do subscribe and press the bell notification. And for you, I have all my blessings with my last word that please keep studying. We'll meet in the next lecture where we will go for some more comparative analysis. Till then, good luck and goodbye.